Hey everyone, welcome. In today's video, we're diving into one of the most basic but most important concepts in Python, variables. If you're just getting started, this will make everything else you learn way easier. Let's break it down together step by step. First of all, we have understanding variables in Python. Variables are a fundamental concept in programming, acting as symbolic names that store and reference data values in memory. In Python, variables are dynamically typed, meaning their type is inferred at runtime, offering flexibility in how data is handled. Next, we have what even is a variable in Python. At its core, a variable in Python is a name that points to a specific value object in memory. You create a variable through an assignment operation using the equal sign. For the assignment, we just have variable name equal and the value we want. And in the code, we just use x equal 100. And the purpose of this is to assign the integer 100 to the x, which is the variable. And for flexibility, variables can hold various data types like numbers, strings, lists, and more. And most importantly, there are rules for naming variables. Adhering to Python's naming conventions, ensure your code is readable and functional. These rules dictate how you can name your variables to avoid syntax errors and maintain consistency. Start with the letter underscore. Variable names must begin with an alphabet character or an underscore. No digits or spaces or punctuation. Names cannot start with a digit, nor can they contain spaces or most punctuation marks. Case sensitive. Python distinguishes between uppercase and lowercase letters. For example, my var with V capital is different from my var with the M and V capital. And we can use snake case. For multi-word variable names, use snake case. For example, my underscore variable for better reliability, and it's a common Python best practice. And next we have common data types for variables. Python variables can store various types of data, each with its own characteristics and uses. Understanding these common data types is crucial for effective programming. First, we have numbers, like integers, normal 42 number, and then we have float, which is also a normal number, but that contains a decimal, and then we have complex numbers. And we move over to the collections, list, mutable ordered sequence of parts. Mutable meaning it can be edited mid-code. Tuple, immutable meaning it cannot be edited, and like 456 or 123. And then we have dictionary, key value pairs, for example name, here's Alice and age is 30. Then we have a set, unordered collection of unique items, each with its own apple and banana. And then we have a strings, it's a normal string that's str in the code, and hello or word that we can add actions. And then we have other types like boolean, true, false, custom objects. And next on our list is variable scope basics. Variable scope determines where in your program a variable is accessible and for how long it exists. Understanding this concept is critical for writing robust and predictable code. We have three scopes. First, local scope, second, global scope, and third, non-local scope. For the local scope, it's a variables defined inside the function and are local to that function and cannot be accessed from the outside. Global scope is variable defined outside any functions and that are global and can be accessed from anywhere in the program. Non-local scope, it applies to nested functions, allowing inner functions to access better variables from their enclosing, but not global scope. And next we have printing and formatting variables. Displaying variable values is a fundamental task for debugging and user interaction. Python provides versatile tools for printing and formatting output, especially with fstrings. Using print bracket, this basic function is to display variable values to the console, for example print and x, which is the variable. Then we have fstrings, which is new updates of Python. It's a powerful way to embed expressions inside string literals. This makes output highly readable and dynamic. Example, name equal Alice, age equal 30, then print f name is 8 years old as it's in front of you at the screen, which will output Alice is 30 years old. Now let's see common operations with variables. Variables are not just storage containers, they are active participants in computations and manipulations within your Python programs. Here are some common operations. For example, arithmetic operations like division, subtraction, addition, or multiplication. X equal 5 plus 3, y equal x times 2. And we have string concatenation. Combine strings using the plus operator. For example, the greeting equal hello plus word, which result in hello word when printed out. And then we have collection indexing. Access elements within collections, lists, tuples using their index. For example, my list which have 10, 20, and 30. And if we write my list and 0, this is the first element. It's to access the first element, which is 10. Then we have mutable collection changes. For example, when modifying elements in the list, we list 0 equal 100 and it changes that 10 into 100. Last but not least, we have the best practices for using variables. Adopting good variable practices enhances code readability, maintainability, and reduces errors. These guidelines are crucial for developing clean and efficient Python programs. First, we have descriptive names. Choose names that clearly indicate the variable's purpose and content, like total sales instead of TS to make it more readable. Then we have follow conventions. Adhere to Python's PEB 8 style guide, especially using snake case for variable names which we covered before. Then we have avoid keywords. Do not use Python reserved keywords like if, for, class, and variable names do not conflict. And then we have it's a limited scope. Keep variable scope as narrow as possible to prevent unintended side effects and improve modularity. Then we have comment assignments. Add comments to complex variable assignments or unusual data manipulations to clarify their intent and make it more readable. Alright, that wraps it up for variables. Hopefully that makes things clear. If it did, a like and a sub would really help the channel out. Got any questions or project ideas? Drop them in the comments, I'll be checking. Catch you next time.